In 2019, when I was 14 years old, I passed 2 kidney stones, and it was the worst pain of my life. I have since changed things about my lifestyle, and I haven't had any stones since then. So this is my 5-year update, including all the stuff that I changed since then to stop forming stones. So if you want to go back and watch my first video first so you can see my whole experience. I don't remember every single detail, but you can see 5 years ago me talk through it. So a little recap, the first stone I had was in the summer, and yeah, I had to go to the ER, get fluids, all of that, and they originally thought it was a UTI, and then, I don't know, I went on for like 2 days or more until we finally just went to the ER and got fluids, and I passed it. So then we're like, okay, well, this isn't very common for girls your age, like, who even knows if that's what it was? Then it happened again. Basically, the first time they just told me to drink more water, and that was kind of it. We did some research ourselves about like why I might be forming them and everything, but we really changed things after the second one, which was 2 months later, so I had to miss a ton of school. One of the things I'll always be mad about was I was in volleyball. The coach on the higher level team than the team I was on wanted to pull me up, and then I had my second kidney stone, and he did not pull me up. It wasn't because I missed the school, it was because he was worried it was going to happen again. And I don't know, like, that probably would have changed my high school career because I would have stuck with volleyball instead of, well, COVID happened too that year. Enough reminiscing, moving on to the medical follow-up that I had and how we monitored it. After the second stone, I had an ultrasound at the ER and they really didn't find anything, so I was referred to Boston Children's Hospital to a urologist and a nephrologist, and I went every 6 months to check up on the stones and make sure there wasn't any growth. So I've just been getting ultrasounds. It was 6 months back then, but now I go once a year or a little over a year. So the one stone that they found grew initially, but now I believe it's pretty stable, around 4 centimeters. So that is a little bit too big to pass without pain. That is something that might happen down the road, but I'm hoping it doesn't. But one of the visits, this is kind of funny, they couldn't find the stone, and they were like, well, you're a medical miracle. No, they didn't say that, but they were very confused. And then the next time I went back, we expected to see nothing, and then it was back. But after each ultrasound, I'd have a meeting with the doctors, and they really didn't tell me anything solid to do. They would just say okay, yeah, keep drinking lots of water. And so my mom did a ton of research and found out about a low oxalate diet. This was never really something that the doctors told us about. They kind of just said whatever you're doing is working, so keep doing that. For dietary changes, I had to reduce oxalates, and I also reduced salt. So there are a ton of foods that I just don't eat anymore, or I have to be very careful about how much of them I'm eating. So some foods that are high in oxalate are beets, potatoes, spinach, almonds, soy. You can just look up high oxalate foods, and those are the foods that I've had to cut out or cut down on extremely. I have since been able to add back in some of these foods in small quantities. I don't go crazy on any of these just because of the risk, but as I kept going to more ultrasound appointments and they kept not finding anything bad, we figured that I was doing enough with my diet and that I could maybe have a little bit of this stuff back. I also had to increase my water intake, and I take calcium supplements every day as well. So lifestyle changes I would recommend if you have calcium oxalate stones, which I don't know exactly what type mine are, but we kind of assumed it was this, and I guess it's been working so far. So I would say don't eat high oxalate foods, take calcium supplements, drink a lot of water. If you've passed stones before, I'd recommend getting an ultrasound to see how many you have left, if you have any. Hopefully you don't. And also how big they are, if you have any left, and if you would be able to pass them or not. So here are some things that I've learned. It's good to know what type of kidney stones you have. I don't exactly know. Like I said, calcium oxalate is what we presume. I also learned that you kind of have to do some stuff for yourself because the doctors didn't really know anything about this. I'm just assuming it's because I go to a children's hospital for this, but they didn't really have any advice for us other than keep up what you're doing. So for the long-term outlook, I am glad that this is something that I don't have to worry about every day anymore. This whole kidney stone experience had a mental impact on me as well. Last year, I had a UTI on my birthday, and I didn't know it was a UTI at the time. I thought it was another stone, and I had a panic attack, and yeah, so I'm not I'm not fully recovered in that way. So I spent my birthday at urgent care and got that sorted out. I know a lot more about nutrition and anti-nutrients now, which is what oxalate is. I also have ways to try to manage if I do pass the last stone that I have. I have prescription pain medication and anti-nausea medication that would hopefully help me through it. I know that hydrating is the only way to get through it, so you can't really do that if you're throwing up though. The doctors have also told me about different procedures that are available to remove stones that you have, but I don't think I will. If things stay the same, I don't think I want to put myself through that. So that is my 5-year update. Make sure to go back and watch my other videos if you want to see little 14-year-old me talking about the experience as it was happening basically. If you're going through kidney stones right now, I am so sorry. I know how bad it is, and I hope you get through quickly.